What do you think of Crawford Canelo? There's a lot of talk about that.
I think Canelo wipes the floor with him. I love Crawford. I told you when Crawford and Spence that Crawford would beat the hell out of him, but Canelo is a different proposition.
A good little man has never beat.
Warnings are pouring in from all corners of the boxing world, cautioning Terence Crawford about the danger he's stepping into by facing Canelo Alvarez. The idea of Crawford jumping up 3 weight classes to fight Canelo had become a major talking point. While Crawford is riding high after his dominant win over Errol Spence Jr. to become the undisputed welterweight champion, many experts believe Canelo's size and power at super middleweight are on a completely different level. The challenge ahead is not just about skills, it's about surviving against a naturally bigger and more powerful opponent.
See that as a weakness. Seeing how they match up, I think that we just overhyped Crawford, and I think Canelo is going to be able to play out.
Why do you think he's overhyped?
The recent win against Spence, but it was mostly because people just hated Spence. It wasn't based on anything that Terence Crawford did.
And I mean, the performance he put on was amazing.
Was it the performance that could possibly lead to him beating somebody like Canelo, who's had multiple great performances, as opposed to 1, maybe 2? To be honest, he might just be a nobody if he loses, just like Errol Spence was. I kind of feel bad for him now that we set it up, but he still can cancel.
Amir Khan, who has first-hand experience with this kind of leaping weight, has been one of the most vocal voices warning Crawford. Khan once made a similar move, jumping up in weight to face Canelo after a big win over Devin Alexander, but it ended badly. Canelo knocked Khan out cold. Having lived through the consequences, Khan understands better than most how much difference just a few weight classes can make. Speaking candidly, he said, "I don't think anyone is beating Canelo. I'm hearing Crawford is moving up to 168 to fight him. I like both fighters, but Crawford shouldn't give up that much weight." Khan's warning comes from experience. Painful, first-hand experience.
Rumours that Terence Crawford and Canelo.
I don't think that should happen. Look, I like Crawford, and I think Canelo is a beast that way. Honestly, I would advise Crawford not to.
Giving up that much weight against someone as powerful as Canelo Alvarez can be extremely dangerous. The Canelo's punches at 168 pounds carry real knockout force, and even the most skilled fighters struggle to absorb them. Amir Khan's warning isn't just about size. It's about physics, leverage, and raw power. Despite Crawford's immense talent, he is not a natural super middleweight. Even if he adds weight to reach the division, there's a huge difference between real strength and simply putting more pounds on the scale.
The others say, like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down, so I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets...
Promoter Eddie Hearn has also expressed concern, calling the potential matchup a battle between 2 all-time greats. But with significant size gap, Hearn, who has closely followed Crawford's career, believes the weight difference is too much to ignore. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, he said, "It's a great fight, 2 pound for pound greats, but I think the weight will be too much for Terence. It is not a big 154, definitely not a big 160, and nowhere near natural 168. He has amazing skill and a high boxing IQ, but so does Canelo. I'd give the edge to Canelo in that fight."
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely apt.
Hearn went further, suggesting that Canelo could win by stoppage, especially if he takes control early. He explained that while Canelo is naturally the bigger man, he doesn't like chasing opponents. He prefers when they stand their ground and trade punches, allowing him to showcase his power. Crawford, known for his slick footwork and sharp counterpunching, won't make that easy, but if Canelo can successfully cut off the ring and force Crawford into close-range exchanges, Hearn believed the fight could end early, possibly by knockout.
Terence Crawford fight?
I don't think so. I think that it's much too much weight for Terence. His style was difficult, and people will say it was a poor performance from Terence, but let's just say it was a great performance from Madrimov. I think 168 is much too big for Terence, but like he said.
Ryan Garcia also shared his opinion in a recent interview with AK and Barrick. Garcia, who has sparred many rounds with Canelo, didn't hold back that he stated that Crawford can't beat Canelo, pointing out that Crawford didn't look strong in his fight against Israel Madrimov, who isn't even considered a big guy. Chahiye emphasized that Canelo has perfected his fighting style and always knows what's happening in the ring. His point wasn't just about size, it was about experience. Canelo has faced elite opponents like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Caleb Plant, and he always finds a way to win. According to Garcia, Canelo's skill and ring intelligence are simply on another level.
That's going to be a great fight too. I can't believe they made that happen. So yeah, Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for a reason. Last personality.
Teofimo Lopez also backed Canelo.
Teofimo Lopez also backed Canelo, predicting that the Mexican superstar will stop Crawford in the later rounds. Lopez acknowledged that Crawford could cause problems early on, but once Canelo adjusts to his style, he believes the tide will turn. Lopez made a valid point about Canelo's ability to adapt mid-fight. One of the reasons he's remained dominant for so long that he knows how to read his opponents and make the necessary changes. Still, not everyone agrees with Lopez's outlook.
Before you get out of here. Listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that, jumping like that much, getting hit, I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't, they don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what, 14?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
15.
Yeah.
Veteran trainer Teddy Atlas, known for his honest and direct commentary, holds a different opinion done on his YouTube channel. Atlas explained that Canelo's physical advantages might not matter as much as many believe. That he pointed out that Canelo has slowed down in recent years and tend to struggle against fighters who use a lot of movement. Atlas questioned whether Canelo could keep up with someone as quick, elusive, and defensive as Crawford, pushing back against the idea that size alone will determine the outcome. Atlas said, "I'm not betting against Crawford. He's special. Canelo is great, but Crawford is even greater."
Composure going to be like the moment a punch lands on him from Canelo.
Are you kidding me? Take that question back.
Yeah, why?
Because you're talking about Crawford.
Yeah.
He's
the weight classes.
He's the most composed guy. Yeah. What, you don't think he'll be prepared? You think it'll be a shock to him? No. He's already moved up 3 weight classes. So now you're talking 6 if you add on 3. Crawford has the ability to slow things down in the ring that very few people have, and to see things.
Atlas's belief in Crawford isn't just based on hope, that he sees Crawford as one of the most complete fighters of his generation. Crawford controls distance, timing, and angles better than almost anyone in the sport, though he has never lost a professional fight. And that unbeaten record gives him a mental edge. Fighters who've never been beaten often carry a belief that nothing can stop them. And that mindset makes him even tougher to defeat. Crawford's confidence is built on proven success.
Kovalev was older, and he does, don't get me wrong, he does have a lot of power. But all those guys that you name is not as skillful as me. I'm sorry. No disrespect to none of those fighters. The skill level is not there.
So how do you see a fight with Canelo, though?
It's a tough fight. Canelo is a great fighter. Like, I always have respect for Canelo, but I just believe in my skills. The fact that people doubt me, it just fuels me.
Veteran promoter Frank Warren also chimed in, though. He said Canelo has looked vulnerable in recent fights, even noting that fighters were landing clean shots on him. Something that adds intrigue to Crawford matchup, Warren explained. A good big man usually beats a good little man, but Crawford might be a real problem for Canelo. He suggested that Canelo's once invincible image could be fading, possibly due to years of fluctuating between weight divisions. Still, most boxing experts give Canelo the edge, primarily because of the significant size difference. Moving from welterweight to super middleweight isn't just about adding pounds. It means dealing with bigger fighters who are also faster and stronger.
And he's got to give a lot of weight away, Crawford, but he could give Canelo a real problem now, because Canelo was getting caught.
Watching that, do you think Crawford might be, perhaps licking his lips isn't the right word?
Well, I'm sure he was. He was sitting ringside. He was sitting a couple of seats away from me ringside. You could see he liked it. No schmuck. He knows he's boxing. And the other thing is, you've got to look at, was his name Madrimov, who he fought, also gave him a tough fight for a guy who only had 12 fights. So it's going to be a very, very interesting fight between us.
It's also about enduring tough moments against opponents who hit harder and absorb more punishment. For Crawford, this fight isn't just about showcasing skill. It's about testing himself in ways he never has before, that has defeated every opponent he's faced. But none have been as physically dominant as Canelo. That alone is a massive red flag. Oscar de la Hoya sees it the same way. Like many others, De La Hoya points to the size gap, believing Crawford is taking on more than he can realistically handle.
A good little man has never beaten a good big man in the history of the game, unless you go back to certain situations with Pacquiao beat me, but I was a dead man walking anyway. But a good little man never beats a good big man, so it's a tough test for Crawford, but I'm not counting him out. The bottom line, this is the truth again, it's a money grab.
Although Crawford has been the undisputed champion at both 140 and 147 pounds, jumping to 168 is a completely different world to AT. That weight, size, and power can neutralize skill. Canelo is a 4-division champion who has even competed at 175 pounds, where he knocked out Sergey Kovalev to win the WBO title. This isn't just another challenge for Crawford, it's a mountain to climb. While Crawford was dominant at 147 with knockout wins and a flawless record, Canelo's size and strength will present an entirely new kind of threat.